Helping Hands truly believes that another way to bring communities together and develop community is through art. In our latest endeavor, we've commissioned Timothy Doyle to paint a picture of World Headquarters. I have Timothy here with us today, and I thought we could find out a little bit about what motivates him and how that whole process works. Timothy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I come from originally from Worcester County, Massachusetts. Grew up in Millbury there. I got a little wanderlust and left town when I was 18. Went to go live in Boston. I lived in New York, down in Brooklyn. Joined the Army. I did that for a few years. Ended up in Tucson, Arizona. Came back to New York, and now I'm back in Worcester, Mass.
Were you painting in the Army?
I did. I actually did a little bit. I didn't.
Cool.
Not in an official
Cool.
capacity, but in the modern army, you get a barracks room similar to a dorm room, and I found an art supply store nearby and did some painting. Yeah.
So our place is obviously it's a city setting. And what kind of art do you usually paint?
I focus on cityscapes. I focus on buildings that I find interesting in the context that you find them, surrounding buildings, and the whole neighborhood. I think the whole neighborhood comes together to form a great scene, a more interesting scene than just focusing on just a building in isolation.
Now, do you have to get in a certain mood? Do you dress up in a costume? Do you? I mean, are you holding what's that thing? The plank that's got all the paint on it.
Oh, the palette. Yeah,
the palette. Do you hold the palette and do that?
I have a couple of those. So
how does that all work?
So
you can tell I'm not an artist.
Oh no, I'm happy to talk about it. I enjoy walking around. I love cities, and I enjoy walking around cities. And so what I do is, as part of my process, is to go and experience a city. That so Providence, for example, is I love coming down here. I always have. And so I'll just park my car and just take a walk around the city. And when I come upon something that I find interesting, I'll take several source photos of it so that I can get different angles and shadows and get an idea of where the light's coming from. And so I'll take those photos, bring them back to my studio, and use those photos to put together a composition for a painting. And I'm a studio painter, but I draw my inspiration from
Cool.
real life.
Well, another thing about Helping Hands, as you know, is we like to have big events. A reason for more hot dogs, more food, a couple of drinks, live music. So we're going to have an unveiling of your pièce de résistance of the picture of World Headquarters on November 14th here down at 421 Elmwood Avenue in Providence. There'll be all the usual stuff. I'm going to get a live band. I'm thinking jazz something would probably be good for an art thing. What do you think?
Absolutely.
Agree with that?
Goes hand in hand, yeah.
And as you can attest, I have not seen this picture yet.
That's true.
And this will be the true unveiling.
Mm-hmm.
So that everybody will be applauding or gasping, I guess. So
Fantastic.
in the meantime, people should take a look at the stuff that you've already done. So we'll on the website we'll have, and I'll have it run down here somewhere, the websites where they can look at your work. Do you is it only, when an artist does something, is it only painting? Is it only sculpture? Is it only, I don't know, interpretive dance? I mean, how do you guys, can you mix it up?
I think more and more people are mixing it up. It goes in waves. I mean, you look back at art history, and look at Picasso. I mean, you know him for his paintings, but he also did ceramics and plenty of drawings and sculpture and found objects and all kinds of things like that. I think that in some time ago, maybe in the previous generation, that people were more focused. They were taught to focus on one particular art form and sort of perfect that. But more and more these days, I think that it's been encouraged to experiment and to work in many different media. I think a lot of artists, especially more contemporary artists, are totally unbound by what they can do. They could you can combine painting and performance art. You can combine drawing with anything really, and also more and more you see things like graffiti art and tattoo art and things like that becoming more and more, getting more and more accepted as there's not as strict of a line between fine art and things like tattoo art and graffiti art and things like
Well,
that.
one of our producers for the show is actually an interpretive dancer, so she may be doing something at the party.
Oh, awesome!
We'll see.
Fantastic.
But are you professionally trained, or are you self-taught, or how does that?
I would say I'm mostly self-taught in terms of technique. I picked up I think the first 3 paintings I ever did. I wanted to be a filmmaker when I was a teenager, and I was applying to the Pratt Institute. I did not for the application. I needed a portfolio, which I did not have. I went to a high school that had no art program or anything, and at that time, my folks didn't have a video camera or anything like that. So but I needed to put a portfolio together. So I got on to Spags, which is a famous, now gone famous discount store in Worcester, and picked up.
I remember Spags.
Yeah, Spags.
I got like a 4-foot nutcracker once.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Yeah, Spags. It's the guy with the cowboy hat.
That's the guy with the cowboy hat.
Okay.
So I went to so I went to this discount store, picked up a beginner oil set and some canvas paper, which is just something to start out on, and I put together 4 paintings. They were of varying quality, and brought them to this portfolio review. I didn't have a portfolio case, so I just took a poster board, folded it in half, and stapled the edges. And when I showed up, they went to go take the paintings out of my portfolio, and it was all the paintings were still wet because I was unaware of how long oil took to dry. So it kind of ruined the interview because they spent the rest of the interview trying to get the oil paint off their hands.
How long does oil take to dry?
Just
as a sign.
Like totally dry. Like it could be, depending on how thick you put it on, it could be months.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Great. So note to self: don't touch the new painting at the unveiling. Is that?
It should be good. It should be. I think this is. It's not slapped on there, so it should be. You should be good to go.
I started my art career way before yours. I was, making turkeys with my hand.
Oh yeah, a popular technique. It's
very
effective.
popular. Of course, I was told to stop. So that kind of ended that whole thing. But we really are anxious to get you in here, get to see this picture.
Yeah.
If anybody else has some stuff they want to submit, we'll be showing it. There'll be other art here, and as I said, we're going to have a great time with it. Timothy, I really appreciate you coming out here and going over a few things.
Absolutely.
I'll probably make you give a speech at the party, which would be great.
Sounds
and then
good.
we'll unveil it. And no dogs at this party this time, not after the great shepherd incident of last time. So anybody have any questions or problems, obviously contact us at the usual information. Thanks a lot.